What the hell is happening, guys? Excuse me, excuse me again, El Stevo here. Hope you're all good. It's about 11:05 on Wednesday morning. The sun's trying to shine but isn't quite shining, so it's not the worst day in the world. This morning, bringing you my review of last night's episode of This Is Us, episode 4, The Pool. Now, this episode wasn't quite as hard hitting with the emotional beats as the first 3 episodes, but the character development in the past and the present was still pretty damn good. The past part was pretty hard hitting, emotion wise. They went for Rebecca and Jack took the 3 kids out for a day at the swimming pool, and in the present, obviously Kevin's moved to New York and auditions for a play. Randall's still dealing with the fallout from his father appearing, and Kate meets her new fella's ex-wife, who is slim and hot, and it ignites all kinds of crazy in her. We'll start with that. Kate and Toby are having a breakfast date, and Toby bumps into this really hot girl. Kate asks him who it was, and we find out that it was his ex-wife. This sends her into a spiral of complete craziness. She starts going on the internet and researching this woman, finding out how perfect she is. To the point where she ends up in this girl's shop and gets a job there. Very crazy stuff. Obviously, she tells Toby all about it, and he absolutely flips out. And this resonated quite a bit with me, because he then tells Kate that his ex-wife was a complete bitch. She ruined him, she cheated on him, she was horrible. And when they split up, he spiraled out, put on £96 in a year. Contemplated suicide. It was really quite moving stuff from him, and the actor who plays him actually got to show a bit of range for a change. He wasn't just the comedy joker, always saying nice things to Kate to help her get through her weight issues. He actually showed that everyone's got their own issues, and not just her, and he's had his own issues in the past, and he's dealing with them just as other people deal with their issues just as much as she is. I think she realises that, and that was quite a good beat. In line with what was happening in the past, Kate went to the swimming pool and she was wearing a Care Bears bikini, and obviously she was a little bit overweight and stuff, so the 3 girls that she was friends with wrote her a note with a pig face on, saying that they didn't want to play with her anymore. And that really upset her, obviously. And Jack found out that Jack wanted to go over and say something, which all fathers would do. Excuse me, I'm a father, and if I found anyone was taking the mick out of my daughters or my son, I would absolutely flip out, and the first thing I would want to do is go around there and say something. Rebecca obviously was the voice of reason, and Jack ended up giving her a t-shirt and saying that he would give her pals and stuff, which was kind of more of a fatherly thing to do than going and squaring up the 3 young girls. Moving on to Kevin, he auditions for a role in a play in New York. Absolutely just terrible. The girl that he auditioned with, Miss Main, takes him for a drink, tells him to go back to LA, he's useless. And then right at the end of their little friendly drink, she gets a message saying Kevin's got the part, because the producers of the play think that having Mr. Manny on the cast will sell tickets. But Kevin, for some reason, ends up at the end of the episode, ends up at Randall's door asking to crash there for a while. I found that a little bit strange, but obviously he tried to call Kate a couple of times and she was too busy dealing with her own issues. I'm not sure what this means for Kate and Kevin's relationship moving forward, because they've always seemed really solid. But now that Kate's got her relationship going, I kind of think that maybe they're drifting apart a little bit. Kate's got to do her own thing, and Kev needs someone to prop him up, and he's gone to Randall, which is kind of expected when somebody's like that and they need emotional support. They always find it, basically, and that's what Kevin's done. In the past, Kevin nearly drowns in the swimming pool. He runs up to Jack and Rebecca and says, "I nearly drowned and you weren't there for me." And I think that kind of explains a little bit. Kev feels pushed out because Randall is obviously a black child in a white family, and Kate has her weight issues, so the parents, Jack and Rebecca, are always focusing on Kate and Randall, and Kevin feels pushed out by that. and I can fully understand that as well. He just seems to be a normal, thriving child with very few problems. And the other two have got a lot of issues. Obviously, Randall's dealing with being the only black kid in the whitest part of America. Kate's dealing with being the overweight child that's getting bullied and stuff. So the parents are focusing on making them happy, and Kevin seems to be missing out a bit on the emotional side of things. And I think that plays into his part as an adult, really. I liked in this episode how the past and the present scenes kind of felt like they were running parallel to each other. Their issues in the present are very much the issues that they had as children, but have moved into the adult world, if you like. Randall's still dealing with everyday racism and being a black man in a white man's world. Kate's still dealing with being the fat girl in a thin girl's world. And Kevin's still dealing with being the Kevin, basically. He's just Kevin, isn't he? He's a nice character, but that's pretty much what we've got there. Finally, moving on to Randall. William's obviously still living there. It turns out that he helped out some charities and stuff. He goes for a walk in the neighbourhood and gets collared by security. It turns out Randall's neighbours have reported a vagrant in the hood. So William downright refuses to show ID to security. Randall comes out, squares off the situation, and Randall thinks that William is judging him because he was raised by a white family, he lives in a white neighbourhood, his kids goes to a white school, and he thinks William is judging him because William's a pure black man, he's fought for black rights, black children's rights and stuff like that. But by the end of the episode they work it out. They go to see a school play with Randall's kids in, and Randall explains to William that he deals with racism just as much as William has. The way security guards look at them in the shop, the way people will ask for ID with credit cards and stuff like that. So everyday racism is something that black people have to deal with. And you look at Randall when he was a kid. He said he had a notebook, and you see this notebook in the past, and he makes a mark for every black person he meets. And every black man he meets, he wonders if there's any possible way that could be his father. And obviously, this is that being raised in a white person's world with white parents as a black child is going to mess you up some. But he has turned into like the ultimate guy. He's prone to outbursts, and then he'll go nice again. It's really strange. I mean, I like Randall's character. I really do. He's the strength of the show, and he will carry the weight of the world on his shoulders, and it will mean nothing to him to do that. But then he has moments where the emotion will just pour out of him, like with William in the final scene. William finally apologises for leaving him as a child. I think those two seem to be getting the more father-son relationship, and then right at the end, like I said, Kevin shows up and basically has to crash there. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. In the past, we end up with all three kids asleep on Jack's chest, so they kind of resolved all their issues in the past. I think this episode really was a good way to develop the plot of the past, move things on quite well in the future. Like I said, the emotional beats weren't quite hitting as hard as the previous 3 episodes, but I don't think they can play on your emotions for a 13 episode run. I don't think they can drain that much emotion out of us in 13 episodes. We'd all be gibbering Rex by the end of it, wouldn't we? Overall, it was a good episode, I thought. I thought it was a very, very coherent storyline. It was shot well, acted well. And like I said, it was nice to have a bit more of a chilled out episode to expand on everyone's storyline, expand on the past, expand on the present, but not drain us of all emotion like the first 3 have. I think it was a really good episode. Obviously, next week's one I will review as well. I've got a few more videos coming out this week, so look out for those. Still loving This Is Us, guys. I think it's such a fantastic show. Everyone should be watching this. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, share the video, comment. We can have a chat in the comments if you want. I'm more than happy to do that. But overall, this is El Stevo reviewing This Is Us episode 4, The Pool. Over and out. Peace.